Blue-Yellow Queen deck recently won Play TCG's online regionals. This is funky! Hi, Casual Raccoon here, and today I have for you simple Queen guide. Here is a deck list that I propose as a solid starting point. In a nutshell, Queen is a control deck. We want to play reactive until we can play our high cost characters to take tempo back. Afterwards, we just out-sustain our opponent, gaining life every turn using Leader's effect. And now, let's dive into the details. Leader. Queen is 5000 power, 4 life, dual color leader combining control from blue with triggers and life gain from yellow. His effect allows us to heal 1 life for free every turn, forcing our opponent to attack us one more time to finish a game. The only condition is to have 8 cost character on board and 4 or less cards total in hand plus life. It forces slightly different playstyle on Queen players and makes starving the opponent relevant strategy. Big boys. Our win condition is to stick at least one of them to the board and start the healing engine every turn. We play 4 copies of 8 cost Katakuri, 2 copies of 9 cost Mihawk and 4 copies of 9 cost Yamato. 10 copies of 8 cost or higher characters total makes it almost certain to have at least one of them in our opening hand. 9 cost Yamato. One of my favorite cards in OP-04. KO effect works amazing with leaders like Queen, as we will be starving our opponent, leaving them on high life cards count. For example, if we have 1 life and our opponent has 4, we can KO 5 cost character, but don't forget second part of the effect. If we are on 1 or less life, she will heal us 1 life card. It's pure synergy with our leader's effect. For example, you have 10 Dawn, 3 cards in hand and 1 life. You can play Yamato to heal 1 life and then attach remaining Dawn to your leader and attack to heal another 1. If healing 2 life cards in 1 turn isn't good, then I don't know what is. 9 cost Mihawk. Virtually 2 additional copies of Yamato. Removes opponent's character with a cost of 7 or less while providing us with character on board for our leader's effect. In total, we have 6 copies of 9 cost characters, which should assure us to draw at least one of them naturally through the game. 8 cost Katakuri. We can use him in 2 ways. Single target removal of 8 cost or lower character, or to heal ourselves 1 life, ideally putting character with trigger in our life to activate it again. See the future. We play 4 copies of Perona and 4 copies of 4 cost Doflamingo. They both have similar role, help us set up early turns and provide early body on board to answer opponent's aggression. Later in a game, once our engine is going, we can set up triggers on top of our deck in a way to put them in our life with leader's effect. Additionally, Doflamingo is hard to remove blocker thanks to the 4000 power stat line. Triggers. Because we want to be able to stall the game long enough to start our engine, we play defensive trigger package. 3 cost blocker Boa, 3 cost blocker Brule, 4 cost blocker Sanji, 2k counter Beji, 4 copies of each of them to make sure that we get lucky. But if luck isn't on our side, we can always set them up with Perona or Doflamingo. Boa and Brule are simply blockers that we can trigger for free from our life. Sanji, the best yellow blocker, can trigger from life and with 5000 power can also attack without commitment. Beji, the best defensive trigger, completely negating 1 attack. If you draw him naturally, it's still a 2k counter. 2k counters? As you already saw, we are playing a lot of defensive triggers, but only Beji as 2k counter. We add 4 copies of Kea for a total of 8 copies of 2k counters. Additionally, Kea can help us find the cards we need with her effect and filter our hand from bricks. Rule of thumb is 12 copies of 2k counters, but we can make an exception here because we are playing other defensive cards that fit our game plan better. Soggy King. Some people love him, some hate him. I think he has his place in this deck. 4 copies as a mid-range character that help us remove one opponent's threat, but also filter our hand to to find our win conditions. If needed, you can even use him to return your own character to hand, like Kea for extra on-play effect or 2k counter. 8 events. We play 4 copies of Gum Gum Red Rock and 4 copies of 3000 Worlds, 2 strongest removal events in blue. Red Rock, new addition in OP-04, allows us to answer any character for 6 Don. 3000 Worlds I like to call Marco Killer, but answering any 5 cost character for 4 Don is pure value. So, in total we play 8 2k counters, 10 big boys, 16 blockers, 22 removal cards, 24 trigger cards. Obviously some of the effects overlap, but I hope you get an idea how consistent this deck is. Gameplay and strategy. Overall, we want to make our hand small enough that by the time we play our big boys we are ready to start healing cycle. To achieve this, we counter early attacks and focus on answering opponent threats and fighting our win conditions. Against aggressive decks we want to starve them and answer their board until we can start gaining life from leader's ability. Against slower decks we want to outvalue them with our big characters and life gain. We don't mind going first or second, so if we win dice roll, we can decide based on our opponent's deck weakness. Mulligan. We are good to go if we start with either Perona or Doflamingo to set up early turns, some midrange threat like Sogeking or Katakuri, and of course one of our big boys. As last card, it's always nice to have some removal event, preferably 3000 Worlds, to answer midrange threats. To put it simply, win condition in hand, triggers in life, this is our funk. Queen is a funky leader. If you like control game style of blue and a little bit of luck of yellow, you should try it out. Additionally, you can learn a new strategy that is starving your opponent from resources that are life cards until you set up your own engine. Once it's going and you start healing every turn, then you are the game master and opponents will play by your rules. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching, see you in the next video, take it easy.